This is the video for page 373, 1 to 19 odd. Your homework is 2 to 20 even. Alright, so first they just want you to divide 4a squared plus 8a by 2a. So this is one of those where you're just dividing by a monomial. So you can just break it up. 4a squared over 2a plus 8a over 2a and see what cancels. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1a down here cancels 1a up here. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and both of these a's actually cancel. So then I like to circle what's left. So then you end up with 2a plus 4. Okay, same situation here. We're just going to break each piece up. So I have 12a to the 5th b squared over 4a to the 4th b plus 16a to the 4th b over 4a to the 4th b. So let's see what reduces. So I've got 12 over 4 reduces to 3. 4a's down here reduces to 1a up there. And this b reduces this to 1b up here. So what I have left is 3ab. And then over here, 16 divided by 4 is 4. A to the 4th cancel. B and b cancel. So you're just left with 4. So your answer is 3ab plus 4. Okay, same situation here. We've got 4x squared y squared over 2x squared y plus 6xy squared over 2x squared y minus 4y squared over 2x squared y. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. The x squareds cancel each other. 1y down here cancels 1y up here. So I'm left with a 2 and a y. 6 over 2 is 3. 1x up here cancels 1x down here. And 1y down here cancels 1y up here. So I'm left with 3y in the numerator and x in my denominator. So don't forget all that. Here, 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1y cancels 1y up here. So I'm left with 2y up here and x squared down here. And don't forget your plus and your minus. So you have 2y plus 3y over x minus 2y over x squared. So remember, 3 and y are in your numerator and x is in your denominator. So you leave them there. 2 and y are in your numerator, x squared is in your denominator, so leave them where they go. And that's your answer. Oops, I didn't circle it, did I? There you go. Alright, so now we're actually going to get into dividing polynomials. So we have x plus 2 divided into x squared plus 3x plus 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is verify that my exponents descend by 1. So 2, 1, 0. I'm good. So remember, first into first. X times what gives me x squared? And it's times x. And remember, you always want to line up your exponents. So they're both just x's, so you line them up on top of each other. So then x times x is x squared. And x times 2 is 2x. Don't forget the 2 because you're dividing by x plus 2, not just x. You always change your signs. So x squared minus x squared is 0, and 3x minus 2x is just 1x, which we can just write x. And then you bring down your plus 2. Do the whole process again now. X times what gives me x? Times 1, right? So I'm going to put plus 1 up here. Always put a plus if it's positive. Then you multiply. 1 times x is x. Don't forget about the 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Always change your signs. So x minus x is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So you do not have a remainder, so your answer is just x plus 1. Okay? Alright, so let's do another one. We've got x plus 1 dividing into 2x squared minus 6x minus 8. So again, first into first. X times what gives me 2x squared? 2x, right? Then you multiply. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x. Always change your signs. So these are 0, so that's good. You did that right. And then negative 6x minus 2x is negative 8x. Bring down your minus 8. Do the whole process again. X times what gives me negative 8x? Negative 8. Negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. Change your signs, and you end up with negative 8x plus 8x is 0. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0. So your remainder is 0. And your answer is 2x minus 8. All right. So now we're going to divide by 2x plus 4. So 2x plus 4 divided into 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. So check your exponents. Make sure they all go down by 1. 2, 1, 0. I'm good there. So remember, first into first. 2x times what gives me 2x squared? Just x, right? Line up your exponents. So you're good there. X times 2x is 2x squared. X times 4 is 4x. So 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. 3x minus 4x is negative x, and then bring down your minus 2. Do the whole process again. 2x times what gives me negative x. Now, when you fall into a situation where you have, it's not obvious because this number is larger than this one, what I want you to do is I want you to take them off to the side and put one over the other. And remember, whatever over here will always be in the bottom. So if you put negative x over 2x, notice your x's cancel, and what are you left with? You're left with negative 1/2. And that will actually give you what you would multiply 2x by to get negative x. So this is negative 1/2 is going to go up here, minus 1/2. Okay? So this was just like a side note. So ignore that for right now. Now, negative 1/2 times 2x is negative x, because 2 times 1/2 is just 1, right? So it's negative 1x. And then negative 1/2 times 4 would be negative 4/2, which would be negative 2. Change your signs, and you end up again with a remainder of 0, and your answer is just x minus 1/2. This here is a huge tool to have on these problems. All right, here we go again. So we have 2x plus 4 dividing into 4x cubed plus 7x squared plus 8x plus 20. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do again, first into first, 2x times what gives me 4x cubed? That's going to be what? 2x squared. So line up your squareds. Oh, first, make sure you're in descending order. 3, 2, 1, 0. We're good there. All right, then we do 2x squared times 2x is 4x cubed. 2x squared times 2x squared times 4 is 8x squared. Change your signs. These cancel to 0. 7x squared minus 8x squared is negative x squared. Bring down your plus 8x. Do the whole process again. 2x times what gives me negative x squared? So let's do the process we just learned. We're going to put negative x squared over 2x. Okay? So this x cancels one of these x's, and you're just left with negative 1/2 x. Okay? So negative 1/2 x is what you're going to put up here. Okay? So see how handy that tool is to have when it's not so obvious what you're doing? So we're going to do negative 1/2 x times 2x. So if you need to do that off to the side, you can. Negative 1/2 x times 2x, we'll put this over 1, would be negative 2x squared over 2, right? Because you would do negative 1x times 2x is negative 2x squared. 2 times 1 is 2. Now, your 2's cancel, so you're just left with negative x squared, okay? And now you're going to do negative 1/2 x times 4. So you're going to get negative 4x over 2, which can be reduced to negative 2x, right? Change your signs. X squared, negative x squared plus x squared go to 0. 8x plus 2x is 10x. Bring down your plus 20. Okay? 2x times what gives me 10x? Positive 5. Make sure you write plus 5. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times 4 is 20. Change your signs. You have no remainder. So your answer is just, 2x squared minus 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, so we've got 3x plus 1 dividing in 2. Now notice, they did not have them in order for me, so I'm going to put them in order. So it's 6x cubed. Always keep your sign with it. It's positive 6x cubed plus 2x squared because it's positive 2x squared minus 18x because it's negative 18x minus 6 because it's negative 6. And then let's check. 3, 2, 1, 0. Now I'm good to go. So first off, 3x times what gives me 6x cubed? 2x squared, right? Yep. So I'm going to put that right here, 2x squared. So 2x squared times 3x is 6x cubed. 2x squared times 1 is 2x squared. Change your signs, like always. 6x cubed minus 6x cubed is 0. 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. Bring down your negative 18x. All right, and then you're going to ask yourself, 3x times what gives you 0? 0, right? So I'm going to put plus 0. 0 times 3x is 0. 0 times 1 is 0. Okay, change your signs. Negative 18x minus 0 is negative 18x. And bring down your minus 6. Do the whole process again. 3x times what gives me negative 18x? Negative 6. Negative 6 times 3x is negative 18x. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. Change your signs. Your remainder is 0. So your answer, and I'm actually going to write this over here because I want to get rid of that 0, is 2x squared minus 6. You don't write plus 0 in your answer. Okay? So here we've got x, apparently I'm doing it in red, x squared minus 2 dividing into 3x to the 5th, and then look what happens. It goes from the 5th exponent to the 3rd exponent. So there I need to add in a plus 0x to the 4th. Okay, because essentially 0x to the 4th is just 0, so I'm not changing the problem. Minus x cubed plus 4x squared minus 12x minus 8. Okay, so because I went from 5 to 3, I need an x to the 4th. So you just add in plus 0x to the 4th. So I have x squared times what gives me 3x to the 5th. And that's going to be 3x cubed. And I'm going to line up my x cubes. So 3x cubed times x squared is 3x to the 5th. And 3x cubed times negative 2 is negative 6x cubed. Now line up your exponents. So change your sign here and change your sign here. So 3x cubed minus, or 3x to the 5th minus 3x to the 5th cancels. You have 0x to the 4th, And negative x cubed plus 6x cubed is 5x cubed. And you're going to bring down your plus 4x squared. All right, now, x squared times what gives me 0x to the 4th? Well, that's just going to be 0. So you're not going to have anything there. So if you want, you can go ahead and skip this next step, but I'm going to work through it just to be safe. 0 times x squared is 0. And 0 times 2 is 0. So if I have all zeros here, then you're just going to get the same thing. 5x cubed plus 4x squared, and then bring down your negative 12x. Okay. So x squared times what gives you 5x cubed? That's 5x. So I'm going to put 5 plus 5x. Now I'm going to multiply. 5x times x squared is 5x cubed. 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x. Change your signs. These are going to cancel. Bring down your 4x squared. Negative 12x plus 10x is negative 2x. And then you're going to bring down your negative 8. Now, x squared times what gives you 4x squared? Just 4, right? And since it's a positive 4, I write plus 4. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. Oops. 4 times 2 is negative 8. Change your signs. 4x squared minus 4x squared is 0. Bring down your negative 2x, and negative 8 plus 8 is 0. So your remainder is negative 2x. Okay, so when you go to write this, you're going to write 3x cubed, you don't need to write plus 0, plus 5x plus 4, and since it's negative, it's minus 2x over, and remember, it goes over the divisor, x squared minus 2. And that is your final answer. Okay? All right. Last one. We have x minus 2 being divided into, let's make sure we're not missing anything, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0. So we've got 2x to the 4th plus 1/2 x cubed plus x squared plus x, and let's go ahead and add a plus 0 on the end. I honestly don't remember if you need that or not, but we'll put it there just to be safe. So first things first, x times what gives me 2x to the 4th? That's 2x to the 3rd. We're going to line up our exponents. So 2x to the 3rd times x is 2x to the 4th. 2x to the 3rd times negative 2 is negative 4x to the 3rd. Change your signs. Okay? So you've got 2x to the 4th minus 2x to the 4th is 0. And then you've got 4x cubed plus 1/2 x cubed, which we know is 4.5. So it would be, if we added them, if we did 1/2 plus 4 over 1, our common denominator would be 2, right? And then you say 1 goes into 2, 2 times 4 is 8. So we would have 9/2. So we're going to do 9/2 x cubed. Bring down your x squared. Okay? So now we've got x times what is going to give us 9/2 x cubed. Well, you're going to need a 9/2, so we can write that. It's a terrible 9. Looks like an A. There we go. 9/2, and then you need an x squared. So it's 9/2 x squared. So 9/2 x squared times x is 9/2 x cubed, and 9/2 x squared times negative 2. So let's do, if I did 9/2 times, we'll put an x, negative 2. Remember, you multiply straight across. It's negative 18x over 2. Right? Yeah. These would reduce to negative 9x. So it's just negative 9x squared. Oh, I'm sorry, this was squared the whole time. All right. Change your signs. 9 halves x cubed minus 9 halves x cubed is 0. X squared plus 9x squared is 10x squared. Bring down your plus x. Okay? X times what gives me 10x squared. That's going to be 10x. So remember, if it's positive, always write plus. 10x times x. So 10x times x is 10x squared. 10x times negative 2 is negative 20x. Change your signs. These are going to reduce to 0 or cancel to 0. X plus 20x is 21x. Bring down your plus 0. So 21x times what is going to give me 21x? It's going to be plus 21. 21 times x is 21x. 21 times negative 2, sorry about that, 21 times negative 2 is negative 42. Change your signs, so you end up with 42 as your remainder. So you do need to add that plus 0 on the end, or you wouldn't have been able to get the 42 as your remainder. Alright, so then when you rewrite your answer is going to be 2x cubed plus 9 halves x squared plus 10x plus 21. And because it's positive 42 as your remainder, you do plus 42 over x minus 2. Okay? And that's it. You guys have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.